Look, Peter. Just got him on the belly. Alrighty, so me and the wife are headed over to one of our permission properties that we hunt on to put some feed out on it and to try to keep the doe in the area and everything, because all of our bucks and everything keep coming in on cam. And one of the big ones we're after, I'll drop a video in here. We're hoping to be able to get him to daylight. He has yet to daylight all year long, which in most cases, typically if a deer is not daylighting on your property, is because you're not in the area of where his daylight range is. But he's coming in and he is checking these doe and chasing doe constantly. And so we do our due diligence on this private property to keep it fed, to ensure that the doe stay there, and that even the likely possibility of other mature bucks pushing in. So either way, we're headed over to it real quick to put out some feed and to change some cameras, batteries and everything. And so hang out with us and we will be right back. So we've made it here. We're going to run out here real quick, put this stuff out, and then go grab a camera. So yeah. Alrighty, we got that knocked out. We got to run down in this bottom and across the draw and get a camera and pull it and bring it back, because I'm going to take it to another property. So I'm going down here to remove this camera because I've been getting a lot of action on the north side of the property rather than the south side. Not saying that this camera don't get action, it does, but I've got it pretty well dialed in to where I know what they're doing over here. So, but I need one of my cell cams to put on this new piece. Well, it's not a new piece, it's a family piece of property that we've had for pretty much my whole life almost, but I haven't messed with it in years. So I'm getting this camera to take it over there to try to see if I can't find anything new on it. One thing I love about this property is you can see this bottom is so thick and it goes all the way through this whole thing. Just a big SMZ. You got a big stream that just runs right through the middle of it. And it's awesome. It absolutely holds the deer like this right here. Big high stem count briar thickets and stuff all down through there. And you talking about some killer bedding, and but really good mature timber trees and everything. So let's grab this camera. All right, we got to the camera. So we're gonna go ahead and pull it and try to get back to the truck. So I'll see you in a second. All right, we made it back to the truck, and it's funny, I was telling her when we came in that there was a deer that has made a scrape right here. He's using that as a licking branch, and it's literally just right here off the access road. You can see all in it there, where they've been digging in it and placing their claws in it, or their hoof, everything. So This part of the property is absolutely loaded with deer, but I'm going to walk down here and check this other scrape and see if there's anything that has been hitting it, which I have a camera on it, so I know there has been some activity on it. But sometimes it's best to just get your eyes on it and just kind of see what the sign shows. So, plus it's been over a week since I've been on this property because I've been out of town hunting and everything. So we'll check in just a second. So it's looking fine. Camera's still available up there, still running and operating. It's actually sending me pictures right now, so which is good, and which is what I wanted to check. So I'm going to doctor this thing up real quick, and then we're going to make our way back to the truck. We were up at the truck and looked over the hill and seen all these buzzards up here in these trees. And during this time of the year, it's very common for deer to get hit. And where this is so surrounded by homes and everything, I wanted to just walk down here and make sure that it wasn't any of the target deer on this property. So we're just checking it real quick and kind of combing through it to make sure that there's not anything dead that is of the deer nature. So alrighty, good news. My wife found it, whatever it was, and it's just a possum. So praise the Lord. And that's one of the last things you want for a big mature deer or something like that. It happens every year. They get hit by cars and stuff because in the rut they're chasing like crazy and everything. And it's very, very, very common. It's not an unlikely circumstance. So just to be safe and to take precautions, we just came over the hill to check it to make sure. So back to the truck. One of the main things I love about this property is that there are a ton of white oaks, but there are a bunch like that. That is a massive white oak, and they're everywhere. So it's one of the things I love about this property. Early season, late September throughout October, these are some major feed trees right here. And this is actually the point that the doe will always come onto, and where my big 10 was like right back over there. You can actually see that big prong tree over there. My stand's in it right there. And these doe would filter onto this point, and those big deer, big mature deer, would always, on a north wind, J-hook around the back side of it and catch the scent blowing off this point to try to scent check these doe. Well, he got caught slipping and I made him pay. So anywho, we're going to get back to the truck real quick and get this day going a little more. We got a lot to do. So alrighty, so we made it back to the truck and we're going to make way to this property that's way further out into the country and everything. And it's a 74, 76 acres. I always forget. But it butts right into another conjoining property that we have rights on that is 147. So over and all, it's well over 250 acres worth of property. But we're gonna go over here and set a camera up on it with some feed and just see. We got a few weeks left of rifle season here in Kentucky, and of course we got plenty of season left all the way until January for both my wife and my oldest son to get their deer and my brother to get his. So we're gonna go put some foot miles in real quick and get it all started. All right, we made it out here to the property, and it's funny, I jumped right out of the truck on this access road that comes up on top of this mountain and everything. It's all around the property, as you can see. And this is the top part of the property, but as soon as I jumped out, there's a big old scrape right there. All kinds of hoof prints in it and everything. So There's another little spot that they've been hitting these, making these licking branches. These are autumn olive trees and autumn olive bushes, really. But we're gonna push out this way here in a second and see if we can't find the next point of hot sun, and then find some beds, and then plant a little bait site to try to get them in between the transition of the two. If a mature deer rolls through there, then he's going to want to scent check the bait site. So we're going to get these trail cameras set up, and then we'll be right back. All right, we're going to walk out here on this flat a little ways and see what we can find. Oh, so far it's super dense, as you can tell. Like the cover in here is super thick. There's a lot of big high-rise pines, a lot of mountain autumn olive up through here, a bunch of sycamore, and it's just very dense. A lot of really thick underbrush. I've already found a good bed and a good rub next to the bed that's absolutely shredded. And so what I'm thinking, based off of what I know when we hunt mushrooms here, is that it opens up really good on the other side, turns into a bunch of mature hardwoods, and it does the same thing back over here on this right side. On this right side, there's these benches that come right off the back right here and drop down off these points into these benches and funnel right into this flat up here. I would call it a mountain bench or a mountain bench as well. But it's kind of laid out kind of like a big flat bench, very long. From the back of the wall to the edge of the next drop is probably, I'd say, a solid 80 yards. So I'm going to actually push back towards the truck the way we came in and hit those that mature timber line right in the edge cover and make a bait site there, because there's no point in trying to push back in here, especially it being so thick, because they will use this as bedding cover. Because if you can see right over in there, there's a bunch of laydowns. There's a ton of laydowns in here, and it's been like that all the way in. We can't even get through it because it's so thick in here. We've had to use the edge cover to get around it. So we're going to push back up to this edge and work our way back down and then drop it on the other side. And so let's get to her. You may wonder why I'm choosing this spot. So if you look around right here, this is a big open patch, really big open patch, right? And if you look around through there, that's that super dense cover that we just came out of. A lot of the autumn olive and everything like that, that's over there. And it makes a big bowl, and it kind of makes a bowl right through here. And it just does a little dog leg all the way around that point back out towards the truck. But if you turn around and you look behind you, there's a major drainage right here behind us, right? As you can see, it just drains right off onto this bench. And there's a trail that's falling right off the side of that drainage coming all the way down through here. There's a ridge drainage to the right, one to the middle, and one to the left. So there's 3 main drainage points coming down to this one area. And so it'll really sequester a lot of these deer to this general area with the right wind and everything. So we'll put this bait site in here and see what we can get on cam, and see if we can't get something worthy of shooting for someone in the family. So let's get to it. Alrighty. All right, so this is the north facing side of the mountain. So I know that that is east. So yeah, so north, south, yeah, that's right. All right, so I need to put this to where it's not facing the sun at any point of the day, so we're not getting a bunch of sun washout pictures and everything and videos. So I gotta find a tree here real quick. All right, we got the camera on. We have good service signal. We got 2 bars, which ain't bad. It's good enough. It's all you need. But once again, this property is really far out into the country, so. But I chose this ridge bench because of service issues and how thick it is. I knew that I would likely be able to encounter a more mature deer either coming and scent checking this thick area for doe bedding, but not only counting the fact that we found some buck bedding sign back in there as well. So we're going to make our way back to the truck, and hopefully we can start getting some good intel and everything on this thing. So it's been years since I've been on this property, and it is it's got a soft place in my heart. This is the place where I killed my very first deer. And so like I was saying, I have a lot of good memories with this farm, and this is actually one of my primary turkey hunting spots in the spring. This is where I mainly turkey hunt, and because I mean, my gosh, this place is covered in turkey. And so hopefully we can start managing it again more properly like we used to back in the day before everyone got older and started to move apart and move away and everything. And we can get it back to what it once was. We used to run food plots and everything off this place years ago. And my uncle that taught me everything I know about hunting and everything, he's gotten a little older, so he isn't able to do much anymore. But hopefully I can get my kids out here and get this ground back under management like it used to be, and get some awesome memories for the next few years. So, but we made it back to the truck. So thanks for watching this episode. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. And like I said, stay tuned because we have a lot of really awesome hunts coming up in the next couple weeks, and even on into the end of the season. And so if you can, like, follow, and subscribe. Get in touch with our socials to stay updated with everything that we're doing new. And as always, scout hard, hunt easy.